Good morning, students. In the last class we solved the level 2 multiple choice questions on solution topic, and today's discussion is NCERT exemplar problems, solutions of NCERT exemplar problems. In this first question is, which of the following units is useful in the relating concentration of solution with its vapor pressure? The concentration of solution with its vapor pressure. This is based on relative lowering of vapor pressure, that is relating to concentration of solution with its mole fraction. The relative lowering of vapor pressure is P naught minus P by P naught is equal to XB. The relative lowering of vapor pressure, it is the ratio of decrease in the vapor pressure of solution to the vapor pressure of pure solvent, is always equal to mole fraction of mole fraction of solute when solvent is alone volatile. This is the another statement for Rolle's law. And all these four options, first one, the mole fraction is related to the vapor pressure of the solution. Vapor pressure of the solution is always, or relative lowering of vapor pressure is always equal to mole fraction. And second one is parts per million. Parts per million means ppm is equal to weight of solute by weight of solution into 10 raised to 6. There is no vapor pressure term in the ppm. And third one is mass percentage. Mass percentage is equal to weight of solute by weight of solution into 100. And last one is molality. M is equal to weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1000 divided by weight of solvent in grams. And all these four relation, only the concentration of solution in terms of mole fraction is related to vapor pressure. That is, first option is the right one. In this first one, the mole fraction or the concentration of solution in terms of mole fraction is related to vapor pressure of the solution. This expression, mole fraction, is only the relation between vapor pressure and concentration of solution in terms of mole fraction is represents. Next question is, on dissolving sugar in water at room temperature, solution feels cool to touch. That is, dissolution of sugar in water is endothermic process. Cools to touch means endothermic. Under which of the following cases dissolution of sugar will be most rapid? Dissolution of sugar is most rapid, means the process dissolution of sugar in water is a endothermic because it feels cool to touch. Dissolution of sugar in water is endothermic. If the dissolution process is endothermic, with increase in temperature, solubility increases. In the question, in which of the following cases dissolution of sugar will be most rapid? First option, sugar crystals in cold water. This is wrong, because sugar crystals having smaller surface area, and the process is also an endothermic, and in cold water the dissolution process is very less. In the second case, the sugar crystals in hot water. In this case, the dissolution process in hot water increases, but the sugar crystals having smaller surface area and the dissolution process is less in sugar crystals in hot water. And third one is powdered sugar in cold water. Powdered sugar having larger surface area and the dissolution process is in cold water is less, because the process is endothermic, and to increase the temperature the dissolution process is increases. And fourth option is right one, powdered sugar in hot water. The sugar will be dissolving most rapidly in the hot water. The powdered sugar is dissolving in hot water most rapidly, because the powdered sugar having larger surface area. Larger surface area means hydration is more. Hydration is more means dissolution is more. Dissolution is more in hot water, because this process is endothermic. Temperature increases, dissolution increases. These two factors plays an important role in this problem. Powdered sugar having larger surface area and hydration is more. Hydration is more means dissolution is increases, and the dissolution process is endothermic means with increase in temperature dissolution is increases. And last fourth option is correct for this. Next question is, at equilibrium the rate of dissolution of a solid solute in a volatile liquid solvent is. The rate of dissolution at equilibrium means, at equilibrium rate of dissolution is always equal to rate of crystallization. That means the amount of solute dissolved in the volatile solvent is always equal to rate of crystal or precipitation of solute particles, are both are equal at equilibrium. At equilibrium both ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, the rate of dissolution, the solute particles are dissolving at the same rate in the volatile solvent, and at the same rate the solute particles are collide to form a precipitate. Both are equilibrium, and in this option less than the rate of crystallization, this is wrong. Greater than the rate of crystallization, this is also wrong. Equal to the rate of crystallization, third option is right one. At equilibrium rate of dissolution as well as rate of crystallization both are equal, and third option is the correct one. Next question is, a beaker contains a solution of substance A. Precipitation of substance A takes place when smaller amount of A is added to a solution, the solution is, in this question, a beaker contains a solution of substance A, beaker containing a solution of substance A. Precipitation of substance A takes place when small amount of A added and the solution is. In this, there are four options. First one is saturated solution. What is saturated solution? Saturated solution means no more solute can be dissolved in the solution. No more solute. Excess amount of solute is added to the solution and the excess solute is undissolved state. That is called a saturated solution. Third one is unsaturated solution means more amount of solute can be dissolved. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ solute ಹಾಕಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇನಾಗ್ತದೆ dissolve ಆಗ್ತದೆ. That is unsaturated. More amount of solute can be dissolved and the solution is called unsaturated. Fourth one is concentrated solution. Concentrated means more amount of solute is present. Dilute means less amount of solute is present. In this case, second one is supersaturated solution. Supersaturated solution is nothing but the temperature of the saturated solution is changed. Temperature of the saturated solution is changed. To increase the temperature of the saturated solution, the undissolved solute particles are dissolving and the solutions are called as supersaturated solution. In the question, precipitation of substance A takes place when a small amount of solute is added and the temperature of the saturated solution is increased and the undissolved solute particles are dissolved and at room temperature the saturated solution supersaturated solution containing excess dissolved solute particles are precipitation takes place. Precipitation is taking place only at room temperature. The supersaturated solution means temperature of the saturated solution is increased and to changed or increased and dissolution is increases. Dissolution increases and after attaining room temperature this becomes cools and the precipitate excess dissolved solute particles are precipitated and this process is called supersaturated solution and answer for this question is supersaturated because the precipitation of a substance A takes place when small amount of A is added to the solution and a small amount of solute is added and cools at room temperature, it becomes precipitate and this is the supersaturated solution and answer for this question is B. Second one. Next question is maximum amount of a solid solute that can be dissolved in a specified amount of a given liquid solvent does not depend on. There are four options. Maximum amount of solid solute that can be dissolved in specified amount of given liquid solvent does not depend on. This is the solubility of solid in liquid and does not depend on. The solubility of solid in liquid depends on factors, depends on the solubility of solid in liquid are, first one is nature of solute and solvent. Second one is temperature. The pressure does not having any effect on the solubility of solid in liquid. In this, option 4 is not unsaturated. This one is pressure. Option third one is pressure. In this, the maximum amount of solid or the solubility of solid in liquid which affects nature of solute and solvent, and second one temperature. First option, this is the factor which affects the solubility of solid in liquid depends on temperature, nature of solute as well as nature of solvent. All these three options are factors influencing the solubility of solid in liquid, but the third one is pressure, which is independent, does not depend on the pressure. Because both solid and liquids are very much less compressible with pressure. By increasing the pressure of solute as well as solvents are unaffected, and the factor does not depend on the solubility of solid in liquid is pressure. Option 3 is typographical mistake and make it correct as pressure, and the correct answer for this question is third one, pressure. Next question, at low concentration of oxygen in the blood and tissues of people living at high altitudes is due to, and this is the applications of Henry's law constant. At high altitudes like mountain climbers, at high altitude the partial pressure of oxygen is less, and the low concentration of blood and tissues of people living at high altitude is due to the low concentration of atmospheric pressure. Low concentration of atmospheric pressure, and this causes a symptom called anoxia. Due to low concentration of oxygen in blood and tissues of peoples living at high altitude is due to low concentration or low atmospheric pressure, and the peoples are unable to think, and these causes anoxia, and these are the peoples living at high altitude, the concentration of oxygen in blood is very less, and this causes symptom called anoxia, and the option for this is low atmospheric pressure, second one. Next question is, considering the formation, breaking and strength of hydrogen bond, predict with the following mixtures will show a positive deviation from Rolle's law. There are 4 pairs of liquid mixtures, and to predict the liquid mixture will show positive deviation from Rolle's law depending on the formation, breaking and strength of hydrogen bond. In the first one, in pure state, methanol containing hydrogen bond, and to this acetone is added, some of the hydrogen bonds are cleaved and strength of hydrogen bond is weaker, and this shows positive deviation. Positive deviation from Rolle's law. And second one, chloroform, acetone, third one nitric acid, water, and fourth one phenol and aniline. These three liquid pair mixtures are the examples for solutions showing negative deviation. Here hydrogen bond strength is more, and in the first case hydrogen bond strength is decreases and the intermolecular interactions are weaker, and these liquid mixtures are easily escape from the liquid surface and its vapor pressure increases, and these showing positive deviation. And rest of the three liquid mixture pairs, that is chloroform, acetone, nitric acid, water, and phenol aniline, the intermolecular interactions are stronger as compared with its pure components, and attractive forces are strong, means the escaping tendency of these liquid pairs from the surface is less, and this shows negative deviation. Next question is, colligative properties depends on. Colligative properties only depends on number of solute particles, not on the nature of the solute particle. In the first option, the nature of the solute particles dissolving in solution. This is wrong. It does not depend on nature of solute particle. Second option is the number of solute particles in the solution. Colligative properties always depends on number of solute particles. Third one is physical properties of solute particles dissolving. This is also not, and nature of the solvent is also not. And the colligative properties always depends on number of solute particles. If the number of solute particles increases, colligative property increases. Colligative property increases means molecular mass decreases, because colligative property is directly proportional to number of solute particles and inversely proportional to molar mass. And correct option for this question is second one. Next question is, which of the following aqueous solutions should have the highest boiling point? In this, the concentration of all these solutions, that is 0.1, NaOH, sodium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, and potassium nitrate, all these four solutions having same concentration 1 molar. In the first case, first one, 1 m NaOH. This sodium hydroxide is a strong base, and in aqueous solution this dissociated into Na plus and OH minus. Second one is 1 m sodium sulfate. This is also strong electrolyte, dissociated into 2 Na plus and SO4 2 minus. Third one is 1 m NH4 NO3. Ammonium nitrate is also dissociated into NH4 plus NO3 minus, and last one is 1 m KNO3. This dissociated into K plus NO3 minus. The number of particles in this 2, here sodium sulfate is 3, ammonium nitrate is 2, and potassium nitrate is also 2. The colligative property is directly proportional to number of solute particles. In the question, which one the solution should have highest boiling point? Highest boiling point. Boiling point or elevation means highest, increases. Boiling point is also directly proportional to number of solute particles. And all these solutes, the highest number of particles are present in sodium sulfate, those are 3, and the boiling point is maximum for this solution. The maximum boiling point of solution is 1 molar sodium sulfate solution, because this containing maximum number of particles, 3 particles, and correct answer for this question is second one, 1m sodium sulfate. Next question is, the unit of Abeloscopic constant. Abeloscopic constant is nothing but molar elevation constant. Molar elevation constant is nothing but Abeloscopic constant, and it is represented as Kb. And cryoscopic constant, that is called molar depression constant. Molar depression constant, that one is represented as Kf. And the unit of Kb and Kf are same. Unit of Kb and Kf are same, and the units are Kelvin kg per mole or Kelvin per molality. Per molality means mole per Kelvin. Reciprocal of mole per Kelvin means reciprocal of mole per kg is nothing but kg per mole. This is the unit of Abeloscopic as well as cryoscopic constant, and this is same for Kf as well as Kb, and the Kf and Kb values are depends on nature of solvent. Kf and Kb values are only depends on nature of solvent. Different solvents having different Kf as well as Kb values, and these two are not a colligative property. These are not a colligative properties. These are not colligative properties, and the correct option is Kelvin kg per mole or Kelvin per molality. First option is right one. Next question is, in comparison to a 0.01 m solution of glucose, the depression in freezing point of 0.01 m magnesium chloride solution is. This is based on depression in freezing point. Number of solute particles are more in case of magnesium chloride. In this, depression in freezing point delta Tf is directly proportional to I into m. Proportionality constant, both the solutions are prepared in aqueous solution, and solvent is water, and Kf value for water is 1.86, that is also constant. In case of first one, delta TF is directly proportional to I value for glucose. Glucose I equal to 1. Kf is equal to or proportional to I into 0.01, and for MgCl2 I is 3. This dissociated into Mg2 plus 2Cl minus, and want of factor for MgCl2 is 3, and delta TF is directly proportional to 3 into 0.01. This is for glucose and this is for MgCl2. And depression in freezing point is delta TF glucose divided by delta TF, this is 1, this is 3. Delta TF MgCl2 is equal to 1 by 3, and in comparison with glucose and MgCl2, the depression in freezing point is 1/3, about 3 times. 3 times is more. This is for MgCl2. Delta TF for MgCl2 is 3 times more than delta TF glucose, because the number of solute particles in MgCl2 are 3 and the depression in freezing point is 3 times more than that of glucose. Option second one is correct one, about 3 times more than that of glucose. Correct option is third one. Next question is, an unripe mango placed in a concentrated salt solution to prepare pickle and shrivels because. The meaning for this question is, ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನೆಯೊಳಗೆ ಉಪ್ಪಿನಕಾಯಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಹಸಿ ಮಾವಿನ ಹಣ್ಣು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಕ್ಲೋರೈಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ದೊಳಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ದ ಆಸ್ಮೋಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಪ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಸ್ಮೋಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ. ಉಪ್ಪಿನಕಾಯಿ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಹಾಕಿ ನಾಳೆಗೆ ತಿನ್ನೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, the osmosis is nothing but the spontaneous flow of solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration through semi permeable membrane. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತೈತಿ, water is flowing from unripe mangoes ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಸಿ ಮಾವಿನ ಹಣ್ಣು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ದೊಳಗೆ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ದೊಳಗೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ unripe pickle that is ಹಸಿ ಮಾವಿನ ಹಣ್ಣು ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪೀಸ್ ಏನಿರ್ತದೆ ಅದ ಲೋವರ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಸ್ಮೋಸಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟರ್. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಸ್ಮೋಸಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ spontaneous flow of solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration through semi-permeable membrane. This is nothing but osmosis, and in this case it loses. ಯಾವ್ದು ಲೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತದೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋ ಪೀಸ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ, loses water due to osmosis. Last option is the right one, because of osmosis process takes place and unripe mango pieces losing water, and water is flowing from mango to concentrated salt solution, and this is because of osmosis, and the correct option is fourth one. Next question is, at a given temperature, osmotic pressure of a concentrated solution of a substance is. At a given temperature, osmotic pressure of a concentrated solution of a substance is. ಇಲ್ಲೇನದಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ there are three important points. First one is isotonic solution. Hypertonic solution. Then hypotonic solution. Two solutions having same osmotic pressure, pi 1 is equal to pi 2 or n1 is equal to n2, same number of particles or same number of moles or same osmotic pressure of two solutions are isotonic. Hypertonic means pi 1 is greater than pi 2 and pi 1 is hypotonic solution, or n1 is greater than n2, n1 is hypotonic solution. Hypertonic. Hypotonic means pi 1 is less than pi 2 or n1 is less than n2. Pi 2 is hypotonic or n2 solution is hypotonic. The higher concentration of solution compared with other solution is called hypertonic, and lower concentration of solution compared with other solution, that is called hypotonic. In this case, osmotic pressure of a concentrated solution means number of particles are more and osmotic pressure is more, and this is a hypertonic solution. In these options, first one is higher than that of dilute solution. Dilute solutions are lower osmotic pressure and lower concentration. That is, first option is right one. Concentrated solutions are hypertonic solution and dilute solutions are hypertonic and dilute solutions are hypotonic solutions, and the osmotic pressure of concentrated solution is higher than that of dilute solution from this explanation, and the correct option is first one. Next question is, which of the following statements is false? In all these four statements, we have to identify which one is the false statement. First one is, if two different solutions of sucrose of same molality prepared in different solvents will have the same depression in freezing point. Here, two different solutions of sucrose of same molality prepared in different solvents will have same depression in freezing point. Depression in freezing point and elevation in boiling point depends on only number of solute particles, but the boiling point as well as the freezing point of solvents are different in different solvents. Freezing point and boiling points of different solvents are different. Different solvents having different freezing as well as boiling point. This is due to vapor pressure of different solvents different solvents having different vapor pressure. Different solvents having different vapor pressure. This boiling point as well as freezing point depends on concept of vapor pressure, and different solvents having different vapor pressure and their boiling point as well as freezing points are different for different solvents, and this option is false statement, and this false statement is first one. Second one is the osmotic pressure of a solution is given by the equation pi is equal to C into R into T, where C is the molarity. This is correct statement. And decreasing order of the osmotic pressure for 0.01 m aqueous solutions of barium chloride, potassium chloride and acetic acid and sucrose are: barium chloride I value is 3, NaCl I is equal to 2, acetic acid I is equal to 2, but this is weak electrolyte. This one is weak electrolyte, and KCl is strong electrolyte. Strong electrolytes are complete dissociation takes place, but weak electrolytes are partial dissociation takes place, and want of factor is more than 1, and for simplicity we considered I is equal to 2, and for sucrose I is equal to 1. This statement is also correct one, and according to Rolle's law, the vapor pressure exerted by a volatile component of a solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. This is also correct statement. Vapor pressure exerted by volatile component of a solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. This is the statement for Rolle's law, and this is also correct statement. This is also correct statement, and this is also correct statement. First one is wrong statement, and in the question which of the following statement is false, and first option is false, and remaining second, third and fourth options are, these are the correct statements, and this one is the wrong statement, and the false statement is first one. Thank you.